How's it going, buddy? How you doing? What a beautiful, what a day. Not a beautiful day. I don't want to look. I'm not taking pride in this. I don't know how to feel about this situation. Let's put it that way. You know what? I'm lying. I know exactly how I feel about this situation. This is a tale of hubris. This is a tale of idiocy. This is a tale of a man, a very stupid man, who created trouble for himself, and rather than act like a man, act like a rational human being and solve the problem he created, he went on an insane campaign, scorched earth, against myself, against associates, and ultimately now he's reaping the consequences. We're talking about a gentleman you may know of. His name is Eric July. He is a musician. He is a comic writer. He's a libertarian. This is a man. How could you not love this man? How could you not love Eric July? And Eric July is a man who right now is perhaps best known as the creator of Isom. Isom is a comic book about I don't know what it's about. If anyone tells you they know what Isom's about, they're lying. It was about like a detective story about trying to find a lady. Now it's about punching hell monkeys in hell. The character has gone to hell and punches monkeys. Here's my copy of Isom too, guys. You know I had to buy a copy. All these people accuse me. They're like, you pirated it. No, I bought it. I gave Eric July his pound of flesh, or whatever you want to say. Okay, so why is this interesting? Well, I guess we gotta go to this video where, there was a situation where Eric July was, basically threatened with a lawsuit. So let me see, Eric July lawsuit. And what's crazy about this video, it's one of his, like, top videos. 188,000 views. And the stupid part of this video, I don't even know. Can we skip around in this? Basically, Eric July, let's see. Does he have the tweet pulled up? Here we go. Somewhere, wait, hold on. Okay, so there's an email sent here. Basically, what happened is that there's another group called Isom. So Isom's the name of his comic book character. Let's actually take a look at the search results. If you search for Isom, so they're still the #1 result. But then you get into what is Isom. Okay, then it's a whole different thing. What is the story of the Isom comic? Obviously, they're not happy. They're the #1 search result, this international school of ministry. And when you're the #1 search result, when you've spent this time building up a brand, you're probably not happy when another guy shows up with the name Isom and starts fighting you. As we can see, it looks like the Isom campaign is the #2 result, is the #3 result. Over enough time, they might have the top result. Now, you can make the argument, and this is the argument that Eric July is going to make, is there's more than one organization called Isom. Here's the Isom Veterinary Hospital. Like, what did we just see? We just saw the Information Systems and Operation Management. So just because his comic's called Isom, it's possible he has the right to the trademark. Again, the question is whether or not a rational person would confuse the International School of Ministry for this comic book character. Now, here's the argument that they're going to make. You know what? We'll get into that in a second. So, but here's what happened. Somebody sent, a guy named Obtuse Gnome, sent an email to the International School of Ministry. And that email said basically, hey, I wanted to ask you, when did you guys hook up with Eric July? Why are you making a comic with him? And, do you approve of his comic character? Basically, let's be clear. This guy is a troll. Here's how I know he's a troll. He says, I'm an independent journalist for TB... I don't even know my own acronym. TPBITU. I'm a journalist working for TPBITU. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, that acronym, at least the way I use it, stands for The Biggest Problem in the Universe, which is a podcast I do. You can actually see it on the screen right below. And it's a great podcast, and you should subscribe to it. So this is a guy who used the name of my podcast without my permission, unbeknownst to me, to send this troll email that basically said, you know, I'm confused. Are you associated with this comic book character? And that's how trademarks work. It's trying to prove that a rational person could be confused by the two marks. And if that confusion could rationally exist in the marketplace, then those two trademarks should be separate. A good example is it's going to be very hard to confuse information systems and operations management with the International School of Ministry. Those are two very clearly different things. Here's the argument that they're, you know what, I keep saying I'm going to show their argument. We're going to show their argument at the end. So here's why this is stupid, is that Eric July then goes, well, because this guy says he works for TPBITU, that means this evil Vito Gesualdi either sent the email himself or told the guy to send the email. This is something he said to 188,000 people. Some of the biggest YouTubers on the platform said that. I just posted that I win. I think he has me blocked. I don't think he can even see that. We stand with you, Eric. 2,000 likes. They're so bogus. They hate when people become sick. All these comments saying I'm the worst person in the world because I'm being accused of sending this stupid email. I've made a video about this on my main channel. Guys, first of all, I have no interest in diminishing Eric July's trademark. I even think that he's got a very good argument. What is the similarity between a comic book character and a Bible school? Those are two different things. But let's assume that I'm a super shady, secret double Dutch. He says they're gay ops. I'm running gay operations. I don't know why homosexuality enters into it, but as we know, Young Ripa's kind of a weird bigot. Okay, so I'm running these gay ops, as he says it. Why would I send an email saying I work for my own podcast? Okay? You guys understand that's ridiculous, right? You understand that I would be sneaky about it. I would send a sneaky email that does not directly connect to me, because why the fuck would I want this guy to make a video that gets me all this grief? All these people saying I need to be sued in the ground, that I'm trash, I'm garbage. He did do a good job promoting the podcast, though. Thank you for showing our podcast on your channel. I hope we got some subscribers from that. That is my hope. I have to turn off my ringer. I'm not editing this video. I don't care. This is a stream of consciousness. So here's the update, is that these guys, Eric July, rather than be an adult would go to the International School of Ministry and they would say, listen, we believe this email you were sent. These are trolls. Here's the history of what happened. We believe this is a fan of a stupid podcast that is goofing around. We do not believe there is any sort of trademark crossover. We think a rational person understands the difference between a comic book character and a Bible school. Rather than doing that, again, Eric July made a video about it. He went on Twitter. He went nuts. Here's how you handle a legal dispute. You don't make these stupid videos starting internet beef. I gotta start beef with Vito. Why am I wearing this hat? This is the stupidest hat I own. I hate wearing it. You don't start internet beef. You go, listen, let's handle this privately. Let's talk this out. Because the International School of Ministry originally sent him a message saying, let's just work this out privately. I'm sure there's some sort of resolution we can come to. We don't actually want to have a lawsuit. We'd like to work this out. There's a number of different ways that you could settle this dispute amicably without causing a lot of drama. Eric July, rather than do that, has apparently been stubborn, refuses to negotiate with these guys. And here today is what we saw from Baron Gilfanin. This is the CEO of Isom. Isom trademark lawsuit update. Why serving the lawsuit against Eric July and the Ripaverse LLC has now become necessary. It is with deep sadness that Good Shepherd Ministries, the International School of Ministry, announces that its efforts to reasonably settle the Isom trademark dispute with Mr. Eric July and his business have been unsuccessful. We had hoped to avoid the time, effort, and expense and uncertainty associated with litigation, but settlement negotiations have reached an impasse. So because Eric July spent his time going at me, going, Vito sending secret emails, trying to ruin my business, rather than go, you know what, this is probably some stupid email troll, we can figure this out easily. Rather than acting like an adult, again, acting like a grown man, he pitched a big fit. He made a bunch of YouTube videos complaining like a little bitch, and now he's going to get sued because he's an idiot. I can't. That's the thing is, I almost don't even want to engage in this name calling. Where Eric July is, he calls me all sorts of names. He's made very blatant attacks on my character, which are frankly absurd and moronic. Okay, but and again, I'm not a guy that wants to resort to trash talking, but this is the dumbest man in the universe. It's kind of the reason people ask. They're like, "Why do you care about Isom?" I get asked that question. They're like, it's just a comic book. Who cares? I'm deeply interested in the comic industry. I'm deeply interested in indie comic books. I'm deeply interested in an indie comic book that can raise $2.3 million. I'm a guy making my own comic book. I look at that and I go, wow, how could I make $2.3 million? What is this guy doing right? Obviously, I've analyzed the Isom campaign. I've gone through every bit of Eric's campaigns, trying to see what he's done right, what he's done wrong. And the things he's done wrong, I find fascinating. This is a man who, by my estimates, is throwing his money down a hole, okay? That he made $2.3 million and he's throwing it away on warehouses and employees and forklifts and runner vans and all this shit he does not need to make comic books, okay? I find that interesting. People are saying you're racist against a black man. Sure. No, I'm not admitting to that. That's absurd, okay? Again, I'm just very interested in stories of businesses raising tons of money. I find it interesting. Let's look. This was another, was it on Fig? Let's see, a Miko crowdfunding campaign. I find these stories interesting. The Intellivision Amico raised like $12 million. This was a game console. $11.5 million. And this thing looks like trash, the same way Isom to me is a bad comic book. It's not good. It's badly written. So when something I think is of low quality raises millions of dollars, same as the Intellivision Amico, which was like a console with the power of a 10-year-old smartphone, I'm very interested in those stories, and it's the same reason I'm interested in Isom. Stop accusing me of being racist or trying to interfere with a black man's business. I just think it's a really shitty comic book. I think there's a lot of people who are hyping it up because they're a part of some weird movement to hype up shitty media simply because of the fact it's made by a conservative or a libertarian creator. And I think it needs to be called out. We've been calling it out. So here's the argument against Eric July. Let's see. Mr. July and his company have used our Isom trademark as a character name. Sure. Here's some of the things they bring up. Both organizations spell Isom the same way. Internet searches bring up the organizations and products side by side. Remember what I said? Where they have the #1 Google result. They don't want to lose it. Well, that's mentioned right here. Social media hashtags are confusing, especially hashtag Isom. The names produced the same way. Here's the big one. So, and we've always said, and we said this at the beginning when we saw Isom. Can we see this somewhere? Let me bring up the Isom comic. You know what? I'll just hold up my copy real quick. You see on his belt? Hold on. I gotta get it in frame. I'm not good at this. Okay, you see there, right above his dick, for some reason, he's got a little Christian cross. Like, which makes me think that this character, that Christianity is clearly important enough to him that he included it on his costume. I'm not going to go so far as to say it's a Christian superhero character, because that, infers Bible man or something. But it's clearly a character for whom the Christian or Catholic faith is central to him. So that's kind of a big mistake that Eric made, is he could have looked at the trademarks. He could have said, well, there's a Bible school named Isom. I got a Christian or Catholic-looking superhero character. Maybe it would be smart of me to not play that up and not put a cross on his costume. I mean, that's going to be the best argument these guys make in court. I don't know if they have... Look, I'm not a lawyer. Okay, I don't know if this lawsuit has merit or not, because I'm not a trademark attorney. I don't know. But I'll say that this is going to be probably one of the points they harp on the most. It's a Christian-themed comic, or it has something to do with Christianity based on the cross on his character's belt. He should have said right above the dick, because that's where it is. I don't know why that's where he put it. Okay, so, here's where that Isom gets, both Isoms. Here's why they don't want to be associated with Eric July. Good Shepherd is concerned about Mr. July's prolific use of unacceptable swear words. Being associated with that usage is deeply troubling to us. Even more disturbing when Mr. July uses the name of Jesus Christ in vain. This, to us, is completely unacceptable for someone claiming to represent the Christian faith. I do believe Eric July has publicly identified as an anarcho-Christian, whatever the fuck that means. I assume it's they want to reform the Christian faith in some strange way. We've gathered evidence of these unacceptable verbal usages, and our board of directors does not want our Isom brand to be confused with or associated with Mr. July or his Isom brand. Well, you know, what can you say? Eric July is a guy who, let's put it this way. If I was Eric July, they would also not want to be associated with me. Okay, me and the good Eric July, we're very verbose individuals. Occasionally we use cuss words. I don't think any Christian organization should be associated with me. And I understand why they don't want to be associated with Eric July. But I will say this for the final time. Everybody thinks, again, all these people who think I'm secretly behind this, I think Eric July has every right to his comic book character. I would honestly hope that the ministry would go, you know what, there's enough differences. I don't think we're going to be, because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm making a comic book. I don't want to lose the name of my comic. I get it. And I've always said I support Eric July's right to make comics. That's not the issue. The only issue I've ever had with Eric July is this network of influencers that are hyping up his comic book, many of them without even reading it. Okay? Gaslighting their audiences. Let's be clear. These people are critics. At the heart of it, they're movie critics, they're culture critics. And it is morally unethical, I think, as a critic, to hype up a piece of media based on the politics of the creator rather than the content of the media itself. Don't take my word for it. You can find reviews of Isom. You'll find many reviews that say the same thing I've said. It's a shallow comic book written by a first-time writer, and all the accolades and the press that it's getting are based entirely on the politics of Mr. Eric July. It's not based on the actual content of the comic. The comic is mid at best. Now, here's the last thing I want to talk about, and I've been sitting on this video, and I'm glad I waited because I wanted to play this at some point. Now we got a perfect opportunity to play it. I am pretty sure that Eric July, who is a big dummy, who is an idiot, who claims to have rock star lawyers, I don't think he consulted with a single lawyer about this trademark issue, because if so, he could have got it settled. You know what? I do want to bring up one other thing. There's ways to settle this. He could have just called his comic books, something else. He could have said, you know what? I'll stop calling it Isom. I'll change the name to Mighty Isom. You guys remember Marvel Comics? The name of the comic is not Spider-Man. The name of the comic book is Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, the name of the comic book is not X-Men. The name of the comic book is The Uncanny X-Men. It's very easy. Again, you can still call your character Isom. That's not a problem. Okay, if I want to make a book, okay, my character can be named basically anything. The problem is the trademark right on the title. Call it Mighty Isom. Call it The Incredible Isom. And that's the kind of thing, if I was being threatened with a lawsuit, I would have went to these guys and I would have said, you know what, here's a way we can solve it. I can't imagine they wouldn't have agreed to that. Maybe you did reach out. Maybe they said we're not okay with that. But there's still some sort of common sense resolution I'm sure they could have come to. Obviously, Eric July is like a bull in a china shop. He can't possibly reason with anyone because he's always got to be right. Well, here's a time that Eric July was wrong. Because to everyone who's saying, Vito, you're a scumbag. I know you're secretly involved in these so-called gay operations. Again, I don't know what this has to do with homosexuality, but that is Eric July's weird term because he's a child. He doesn't speak like an adult. He speaks in the verbosity of he has the verbosity of a toddler. See, I said that, and now I'm worried I used the word verbosity incorrectly. I hope I used it right, because otherwise I completely undermined my point there. Eric July told everybody, Vito is responsible for this. Vito Gesualdi sent these emails, or conducted his agents to send these emails. And then he went on Nick Rekieta. If you don't know, Nick Rekieta is a popular internet lawyer. And Nick Rekieta confronted him about these allegations. And oh, did his tune change.
Did you accuse him of starting that lawsuit?
No.
Prior to him tweeting that?
No.
No?
No.
You didn't say that he and Vito were behind that?
No. you're trying to you're making a claim that I explicitly stated that. I wouldn't be so foolish as to do that.
So Dick and Vito didn't do this thing.
I don't know.
You don't know now.
No, I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe potentially. Nonetheless,
You're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here and honestly fucking say maybe now.
That's
like you don't know.
What did I? You want to watch the video now, Nick? Because I never explicitly say that it is that was what it was that they did.
You didn't say that he and Vito were behind that?
No.
Game over, Eric July. Game over. Game over. You lose. You lose, sir. Good day.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, Eric July wanted to make some sort of crazy legal claim that I am engaged in secret operations against his business. This clip of him admitting, I don't know who sent these emails. Maybe Vito did it. Okay. Game over, motherfucker. Never fuck with a crazy fat Italian man, because in the end, you will have egg on your face. Everything I said about you was correct. I said you are a moron. I said you are incapable of writing a decent comic. I said you have the thinnest of skins. And I've been 100% correct. Okay, you have your audience. That's great. You're going to keep making money off the dumbest people on the internet. There's many dumb people out there who appreciate a strong libertarian voice, and I wish you the best of luck in grifting money off them. But to all of us with a brain in our heads, we know what a complete fucking moron you are. You have been exposed, and now you got a lawsuit coming. And there was a point in time, again, I even offered. I said, Eric, why don't I write a letter, some sort of legal statement saying that I have no journalists working for me, that I even am willing to say I believe this person who reached out seems to be a troll acting in bad faith. I said, why don't I write that for you? He said, fuck you, I don't care. I don't want... Okay, well, I offered to help. I offered to talk to your lawyers. I offered to do whatever I can to make this trademark nonsense not happen. You turn that down because you're the dumbest motherfucker who ever lived. And live with that knowledge, you fucking moron. Guys, what can I say other than thanks for sticking around. If you subscribe to the Vito channels, if you listen to The Biggest Problem in the Universe, and please do listen to The Biggest Problem in the Universe. Great podcast. You got a brain in your head. You're an intelligent individual. If you're subscribed to Eric July and you listen to this mush-mouthed loser complain about lawsuits that he could have easily settled by being an adult, by acting like a man, well, I feel for your intelligence. I fear for your IQ. And if you want a comic book that isn't complete dog shit like Isom 2, head on down to superkiller.org. That'll link you to the Indiegogo campaign. You can get a copy of my comic book, Super Killer, which is going to be great. It's going to be fucking fantastic. And if you, I guarantee you're going to like it more than Isom, the adventures of the International School of Ministry's most popular hero. That's a joke. I don't want to get in trouble. Have fun, guys. We got more videos coming soon. Take care of yourself. And Eric, you lose, motherfucker. You lose.